Good day. We are Group 4, and in this video, we will cover the topic of inspection and appraisal. So before anything else, let's first understand the terms inspection and appraisal in the terms of credit. Inspection is a detailed review to assess the borrower's creditworthiness and to verify the physical condition of the property as a collateral. Appraisal is a professional opinion of the collateral's current fair market value. So inspection verifies the physical state of the collateral, while an appraisal determines the monetary value. So both are necessary to ensure that the value of the security provided by the borrower is adequate to cover the loan in case of default. Now let's proceed to the learning outcomes of this presentation. Number 1, explain the nature and purpose of inspection and appraisal. 2, identify the types of properties. 3, know the guidelines in conducting actual appraisal. 4, explain the two methods in appraising chattels. 5, identify and explain the three general approaches in valuation procedures. 6, know appraisal of chattels. And 7, know that shares of stocks are used as collaterals. So now, let's proceed to the nature and purpose of inspection and appraisal. 1. The bank conducts inspections and appraisal for real estate properties through credit investigators and appraisers. So banks have credit investigators and appraisers to check and value real estate properties. 2. The main tasks include property inspection, evaluation, and appraisal when a borrower requests credit from the bank. If someone asks the bank for a loan, these experts inspect the property to assess its condition and worth. 3. The process is closely connected to the credit investigation report, which is an essential part of loan processing. So it is a key document in approving loans. Lastly, the CIR serves as the basis for the bank's recommendation on the borrower's credit request. So the CIR summarizes the property value, the borrower's ability to repay, and other risks. Banks use it to decide whether to approve the loan or not. Now, the objectives. First, the goal of an appraisal is to determine the property's fair value based on local and economic conditions. So the main goal is to calculate how much the property is actually worth right now, considering local real estate trends and economy. Second, appraisers aim to arrive as closely as possible to the true value of the property offered as loan collateral. So appraisers work to estimate the property's real worth, not too high and not too low, because it is used as security or collateral for the loan. If the loan defaults, the bank needs to know if it can recoup or reimburse its money by selling the property. Third, the process requires strict objectivity to avoid overvaluation or biases. No personal opinions or biases are allowed. Appraisers must use facts to avoid overvaluing, which risks the bank losing money, or undervaluing, which might deny the borrower a fair loan. Fourth, the appraisers must resist any pressure to engage in unethical acts that could harm the bank's interest. So appraisers must resist any push to fudge numbers. This protects the banks from investment and legal trouble. Fifth, upholding honesty and integrity demonstrates professionalism and makes the appraiser an invaluable asset to the organization. Being truthful and following rules shows professionalism. This makes the appraiser a key team member. Their work helps the bank make safe, smart spending decisions. So, in short, inspections and appraisals aim to accurately, fairly, and ethically value the property to protect the bank and ensure responsible lending. Before conducting an appraisal, a proper ocular inspection of the property must be done. So, the purpose of inspection is to verify the actual existence of the property, determine its exact location, and assess its actual conditions. So, for example, Maria applies for a 5 million bank loan to buy a house in Cebu City, offering the property as the collateral. Purpose 1. Verify the existence. The bank's credit investigator visits the address Maria provided and confirms that the house really exists. Purpose 2. They check the property's legal documents and use GPS to ensure that it is in the exact area stated. Purpose 3. Assess condition. The investigator inspects the house, walls, roof, plumbing, and electrical system, and notes if it needs minor repairs. The bank uses this info to confirm the property is valid collateral, value it accurately, and decide whether to approve Maria's loan or not. We also have other condition assessment examples here. For apartments, check if it is in good, tenable condition and capable of generating income. Residential house, determine if it is well maintained and in good upkeep. Lot, inspect whether it is below or above street level, which affects its value. Farmland, observe if it is planted, has access to transportation, and available water sources. Inspection helps verify if the borrower's statement matches the actual condition of the property. All findings and observation from the inspection must be included in the appraisal report. So if only inspection is requested, the investigator must not provide any appraisal or value estimation.
Types of properties. This report provides an overview of different types of properties that can be used as loan collateral. Understanding these categories is crucial for assessing the security and risk associated with lending. Property falls into two main categories: real estate and chattels. Real estate refers to fixed or immovable property encompassing land and any improvements made to it. Land by use is categorized based on its primary use, each type having distinct characteristics and valuation considerations. First, we have commercial land, located in bustling commercial areas. Example is a plot used for retail and advertising is prime commercial land. It is valued based on potential rental income and business turnover. We have the residential land, situated in housing subdivisions or residential zones. Example here is a lot in a suburban neighborhood intended for a single family home. It is assessed based on comparable sales in the area and zoning regulations. Next is the industrial land, reserved for factories, plants, and other industrial activities. Example here is a large tract of land used for automotive manufacturing plant. They are valued according to its proximity to transportation hubs and utility infrastructure. Next is we have the agricultural land used for crop production and farming, typically found in rural areas. A perfect example here is the farmland used for growing corn and soybeans. It is valued based on soil quality, water rights, and crop yields. And we also have the raw land. It is an undeveloped idle land, often located near natural features like mountains or forests. It is a plot of untouched land where the value based on potential future development or natural resource extraction. Now let's proceed to the land improvements. So improvements to land can significantly increase its values. This includes physical additions and enhancement. Example here are the fences, trees, water systems, and buildings. So it is appraised by assessing the cost of improvements and their impact on the land's utility and marketability. Buildings classified by use. Buildings are further classified based on their use, each having unique valuation and risk profiles. First, we have residential. So these are the houses, townhouses, condominiums. A perfect example here are the high-rise apartment building, which valued using comparable sales, rental income, and location. Next, we have commercial. These are the business structures such as office buildings, retail stores, and restaurants. Example here is an office tower in downtown where the valued based on rental income, occupancy rates, and lease terms. Industrials. These are the factories, warehouses, and manufacturing plants. Example are the large distribution warehouses were valued based on production capacity, storage space, and logistical efficiency. And we have the building materials and structure. Buildings can be constructed from various materials, affecting their durability and value. So example here are the reinforced concrete, semi-concrete, and light materials ranging from single to multi-story. So construction type impacts the building's lifespan, maintenance cost, and suitability for different uses. Now we'll proceed to the other properties of other types of properties. Now let's proceed to the other type of properties, which is the chattels. So chattels are movable properties that can be used as loan collateral. Unlike real estate, ownership of chattels reverts to the debtor once the loan is fully paid. So machinery and equipment, heavy machinery used in construction, agriculture, and manufacturing. Examples are bulldozers, cranes, forklifts, and graders. It is valued based on age, condition, and market demand. Next, motor vehicles. Vehicles used for transportations and logistics. Examples are cars, buses, trucks, motorcycles. They are valued using market price guides and condition assessment. Next is inventories. Raw materials, goods in process, and finished products held by manufacturers, wholesalers, or retailers. Examples are steel, textiles, electronics, and consumer goods. It is valued based on cost, market price, and turnover rate. So inventory management focus. So its effective inventory management is crucial for businesses using inventories as loan collateral. So its key aspects control stocks level, types of goods, and turnover rates to manage working capital effectively. So its application, lenders assess inventory management practices to ensure the collateral's value is maintained and easily liquidated if necessary. In conclusion, understanding the types and characteristics of properties used as loan collateral is essential for risk assessment and loan management. Real estate and chattels each present unique consideration that lenders must evaluate to make informed decisions.
So now let's talk about the guidelines in conducting actual appraisal. Let's start at the very beginning with the pre-appraisal review. This is where the groundwork is laid. First, check credit files for any existing or previous title reports. Before anything else, appraiser look at exacting credit files and past title reports. They're searching for any red flags or issues that might affect the property value. Next would be verify if the property title is blacklisted by the bank. A critical step is to confirm that the property title isn't blacklisted by a bank. A blacklisted title means there might be a serious problem with its ownership history. Next, we move on to property platting verification. This is all about understanding the property itself. Plot the property area, location, landmarks, and surroundings. Appraisers precisely note that the property exact area, its location, important landmarks, and its general surroundings. If the information is completely verified, details with the Land Registration Commission or Bureau of Lands. If any information seems incomplete, they double check everything with official bodies like the Registration Commission or the Bureau of Land. Identify property classification: agricultural, commercial, industrial, residential, or rural land. These also classify the property. It is agricultural land, commercial space, an industrial site, a residential home, or just raw undeveloped land. This classification heavily influences its value. Now let's talk about valuation units, how different types of land are measured for appraisal. Agricultural land and rural lands appraised per hectare. Commercial, where the commercial and industrial and residential land appraised per square meter. When dealing with farms or undeveloped plots, agricultural land consideration comes into play. Agricultural land consideration. Note: productivity, agricultural facilities, access to highways, mills, type of crops, harvest frequency, and soil quality. Rural land considerations. For rural land, they access in its development potential. Could it be turned into subdivision, or it is best suited for future agricultural use? They also observe nearby subdivision or the other agricultural lands to understand the market. What about buildings and structures that falls under improvements? They evaluate type of construction, materials, age, hazard, insurance, and floor area. This involves checking the type of constructions, the material used, the age of the building, potential hazards, insurance coverage, and the total floor area. Determine reproduction cost minus depreciation to find current value. To find the current value of these improvements, appraiser estimate the cost to rebuild them from scratch, then subtract any depreciation, which is the loss of value over time due to the wear and tear of or age. Finally, for this section, appraisal practice highlights two important principles. Conduct separate appraisal for land and improvement. Land and any buildings on it are often appraised separately. Ensure accuracy and independence between inspection and valuation stages. It's crucial that the inspection process and the final valuation are conducted independently to ensure fairness and accuracy. Beyond real estate, sometimes personal items or chattel needs appraising. These are two methods for this. First would be market value approach. This entails that the gathering of current sales prices or market value of the chattel. This is like comparing prices. Appraisers gather current sales price or market values of similar items. While there's no strict minimum, visiting at least 5 different places help ensures a reliable estimate. Second is the cost approach. The cost of the chattel used as the nearest the objective value. Here's the appraiser's estimates. What it would cost to replace the item, aiming for a value closest to its objective worth. Now let's look at the practical steps involved in appraising process or procedures. Number 1. Pre-inspection preparation. Borrower must submit at least a chattel for inspection. The borrower must first provide a detailed list of all items or properties to be inspected. The appraiser then reviews the list to know exactly what to look for. Second, site observation. Access the surrounding area, neighborhood type, and building materials. They assess the area. This means looking the surroundings, neighborhood, its type, and the building material used. Note proximity of building risks for fire or damage. They check how close the property is to other buildings and identify any risks like fire or potential damage. Third, on-site evaluation. Examine the layout and arrangement of hotel. They check the arrangement of personal items or the overall layout of the property. Evaluate the condition of the structure housing the property. This includes assessing the state of the structure housing the property. Observe the safety, present state, and future usability of the asset. They note that the safety pictures the current condition and how usable the asset will be in the future. The last one will be property inspection. They identify each property nature, quantity, and condition. For each item or part of the property, they note its nature, quality, and condition. For machinery and equipment, record serial numbers, brand names, and other details. They record specific details like serial number, brand names, and other identifying information. For inventories, check stocks card if available and verify actual count against record. They check cards if available and physically count items to verify against record.
Let's proceed to valuation procedures. Number 1, cost approach. Based on the idea that a buyer won't pay more than the cost to acquire similar land and build equivalent improvements. Components, land value, determined through market data, sales comparison, for its highest and best use. Replacement cost, new, current costs of construction, including labor and materials. Depreciation, loss in the value from wear, age, or obsolescence. Set the upper limit of value. Weaknesses, difficulty in accurately estimating depreciation. Like example, he'll have a land value of 100,000 based on comparable land sales. He'll cost of new improvements replacement costs, which is 500,000 estimated by the contractor. Then he'll accrue depreciation in 50,000 estimated based on the age of condition. And the depreciated cost 500,000 and minus 50 equals 45,000. The Sihil na property value of 100,000 plus 450 depreciated cost. Sihil na ay 550,000. In this example, the estimated value of the property ni Hill using the cost approach is 550,000. Number 2, income approach. Income approach is a valuation method used to estimate the fair market value of an asset based on the income it is expected to generate. This approach is particularly useful for evaluating income producing properties such as rental properties, businesses, and certain financial assets. The core principle is that the value of an asset is directly related to its ability to generate future income. And the last approach procedure is market data approach, also known as the sales comparison approach. This is a real estate appraisal method that estimates the value of property by comparing it to similar properties that have recently sold in the same market area. It's based on the principle that a buyer will pay no more for a property than what similar properties have recently sold. Factors affecting land valuation. Size. Residential lot. Ideal size 200 square meter, best if rectangular with the proper frontage. Next is commercial lot, around 300 square meter, higher value for the corner lots, wider frontage or areas with a high traffic. Next, large residential lots, over 1,000 square meter with fence and drainage system. Next, agriculture lots, at least 1 hectare with irrigation, road access, and no tenants. Next, location, Value increase with the proximity to main roads, transports, markets, school, churches, and utilities like electricity, water, etc. Next is scarcity of available lots, prices, land value, law of supply and demand. Next is potential conversion from residential to commercial use can also increase value.
Now I will discuss the process involved in appraisal of chattels. The term chattels refers to tangible, movable properties such as motor vehicles and heavy equipment. Proper appraisal involves a comprehensive assessment of the item's condition, authenticity, and value of specific purposes. Motor vehicle. Motor vehicle means a self-propelled vehicle that runs on land and is designed to transport people or goods. This includes cars, trucks, motorcycles, buses, vans, and other similar vehicles. Conducted like other chattels includes not noting location, condition, and nature of the vehicle. When we say location, it is where the vehicle is situated. For example, the vehicle is parked in the downtown parking lot near the city hall. Condition. It is the current state or status of the vehicle, like new, old, broken, or functional. Like the vehicle is brand new with a shiny exterior and no visible damage. Nature of vehicle means the type of or kind of vehicle, like car, truck, motorcycle, and its specific features or purpose. In road testing, it required should be done by two people. One drives and one observes. Means that when testing a vehicle, two individuals should be involved. One person operates the vehicle or the driver, and the other person watches and assesses the driving performance, the one who will observe. Next is testing on good and bad roads to assess performance like engine, brakes, steering, and suspension. In testing a vehicle on both good and bad roads helps evaluate its engine, brakes, steering, and suspension under different conditions. This process identifies strengths and weaknesses, ensuring the vehicle reliability and safety across various terrains. For example, testing on smooth roads checks acceleration and handling, while rough roads assess shock absorption and control. During inspection, it is essential to check the record serial numbers, defects, and imperfections. This process involves inspecting an item thoroughly, noting its unique serial number, and documenting any issues or flaws found during the inspection. This helps in tracking quality control and determining whether the item meets the required standards or need repairs. In verifying registration certificate to confirm origin or local or imported, it contains a country of origin or manufacture details like if it is made in Philippines or outside the country. Then the process. For foreign assembled vehicles that ensures duties and taxes are fully paid, verified with LTO or Bureau of Customs. This means that when vehicles assembled outside the country are imported into your country, all applicable duties and taxes must be paid in full. To confirm that this payment have been properly made, need to check with the relevant government agency like as the Land Transportation Office or LTO or the Bureau of Customs. Next is the heavy equipment. Heavy equipment refers to large, powerful machines used in construction, mining, agriculture, and industrial projects. For example, includes bulldozers, excavators, cranes, loaders, graders, and backhoes. In appraisal of heavy equipment, similar procedure as vehicles, focus on type, model, and brand reputation. Like the type of equipment, excavators or bulldozers, selecting also the operate model based on capacity, size, and features, and assessing the brand reputation for durability, support, and reliability. Next is confirm identity details like brand, motors, chassis number, serial numbers, and horsepower. Confirming identity details involved verifying key information such as brand, motor number, serial number, and horsepower to ensure the specific vehicle or equipment is accurately identified and authentic. This process helps prevent fraud and ensures that all details match official records or documentation. Next is request complete specification to detect missing parts or accessories. Requesting complete specification entails asking for comprehensive technical details of the vehicle or equipment, including dimensions, features, and installed accessories to identify any missing parts or accessories that should be present according to the model's specifications. This helps in assessing the overall condition and completeness of the items, ensuring it meets expected standards. Then, review ownership documentation, certificate of ownership, and related papers to verify authenticity and processes. It involves certificate of ownership showing the equipment is legally owned by the company. Now let's move forward to important documents for appraisal. First is the sales invoice. It verifies the legal ownership of the equipment and confirms the source of purchase, ensuring the transaction is legitimate. For example, a sales invoice showing purchase from an authorized dealer indicates authenticity and ownership rights. Next is the consular invoice. It displays the purchase date, seller's details, and the landed cost of the equipment, which are essential for accurate valuation. For instance, a consular invoice indicating the equipment was bought 3 months ago at a specific price helps determine its current market value. Deed of assignment. Used when the equipment is assigned as collateral to a third party, requiring verification of its authenticity and legal status. An example would be a deed of assignment used when equipment is used as security for a loan, ensuring proper legal transfer. Fourth is the condition. Refers to the operational performance of the equipment, requiring inspection for any malfunction or sign of deterioration. For example, inspecting a used generator for rust or mechanical issues before appraisal. Fifth is the usage. Determines the primary purpose or function of the machine, such as copier used specifically for copying documents to understand its application and value. For instance, identifying a machine as a Xerox copier clarifies its intended use. 6 is the valuation. Calculated based on either the original or current market value minus depreciation, with about 50% of the appraised value often used as the loan value. For example, a used work left value at 1 million with 30% depreciation would have an estimate loan value of around 350,000. Consulting and engineering confirm can improve accuracy. So it means that consultation with the engineering firms is recommended for accuracy. And that's all.
Okay, now let us move forward to the different types of stocks. Before investing or becoming a shareholder, it is important to understand that not all stocks are the same. Stocks represent ownership in the company, but each type offers different rights, privileges, and risk. Some give you voting right, others guarantee dividends, and some are considered safer or riskier depending on the company's stability. Knowing these types helps investors decide which stocks best match their goals and risk tolerance. Now let us discuss the different types of stocks, namely common stock, preferred stock, listed stock, unlisted stocks, prime stocks, speculative stocks, and very prime stocks and other stocks. First, let us tackle about common stock. Common stock is equal profit rights, no special preference. So these are the most basic type of shares that represents ownership in a company. Holders of common stock have voting rights and share equally in the company's profits, but they do not have special privileges during dividend distribution or liquidation. For example, if you own common stock in Jollibee Foods Corporation, you can vote in shareholder meetings, but you receive dividends only after preferred shareholders are paid. Second, we have preferred stock. Preferred stock, priority in dividends and asset distribution upon liquidation. Preferred shareholders receive priority in dividends and asset distribution if the company closes down. However, they usually don't have voting rights. For example, if you are a preferred stockholder of San Miguel Corporation, you will receive fixed dividends even before common stockholders. Third one, we have the listed stocks. Listed stocks traded on Manila or Makati Stock Exchange, market prices publicly available. So listed stocks, these are stocks officially traded in the stock exchange such as the Philippine Stock Exchange or PSE in Makati. Their market prices are publicly available and fluctuate daily. For example, Ayala Corporation and Globe Telecom are listed stocks you can buy and sell in the PSE. Fourth one, we have the unlisted stocks. So unlisted stocks traded over the counter. Unlisted stocks are not traded on the stock exchange. They are exchanged over the counter or the OTC or directly between parties. For example, shares of a private company like a local family corporation are considered unlisted. Fifth, we have prime stocks. It is issued by well-established, financially stable companies with a consistent record of paying dividends. These are considered low-risk investments. For example, San Miguel Corporation, PhilX Mining, and Atlas Consolidated are examples of prime stocks. Sixth one, we have speculative stocks. These come from unstable or exploratory companies with uncertain earnings. They are high risk but may offer high returns if the company succeeds. For example, a small mining or tech startup company that has yet to prove its profitability. On the other hand, of those companies whose operations are still in the planning or exploratory stage or whose operations are unstable, we also have very prime stocks and other stocks. Very prime stocks, it uses market quotations for valuation. So, very prime stocks are valued based on their market quotations because of their stability. We also have other stocks in which it uses lower of market or book value. Other stocks are valued using the lower of market or book value to stay conservative. Banks accept only prime stocks as collateral for loans because they are more reliable and less volatile. Now let us move forward to the appraisal procedure. Example would be the Atlas Consolidated. So, to appraise stock value, first, we must obtain the average closing price of the stock for the past 3 months from a reliable financial source like PSE, Edge, or Business World. Second, we must multiply this average price by the number of shares offered. For example, if Atlas Consolidated's 3-month average closing price is 5 pesos per share and you own 1,000 shares, that would be 5 pesos times 1,000 equals 5,000 pesos. So that would be your appraised value.